everyone, so today's video is going to be how to decide your college or how to choose your college, and today's video is sponsored by Outlier.org. Outlier was started by co-founder of Masterclass and offers beautifully produced for-credit online courses, and you guys can learn more at Outlier.org. I'll have that link down below so you guys can check it out. So yeah, I wanted to make this video for you guys because I felt like it was very fitting for the time of year we're in. I remember when I was in high school during this time, the whole focus was about college, and I really needed to weigh out the pros and cons of everywhere I was looking into and applying to. So I wanted to just help you guys with your decision and really lay out things to consider when choosing your college and what is probably going to be most important for you guys. So I made out a whole outline and put like tons of notes in my phone of things that I considered when I was choosing my college, and I really hope that they are helpful for you guys. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into the video. And something I quickly want to note, today is Saturday and our homecoming game. It's game day, and like there might be a lot of noise. I'm pretty sure a football game is going on right now, and looking out the window, like I'm like in the center of all of it, like on Greek row and everything, so sorry if you can hear any background noise. Okay, so the first thing to consider is the cost of tuition / scholarships. So you really want to have a plan and think about if you could afford the college that you are attending. Like college could be so ridiculously expensive, so you really want to make sure that whatever you're looking into, you have a plan on how you're going to pay for it and everything like that. And you also really want to consider scholarships. So a lot of schools may offer you guys scholarships, and one school that's more expensive might offer you a lot more money through scholarships than another school. So scholarships and everything is very important to consider, and I feel like, yeah, the cost of tuition is very, very important. Okay, so the second thing you want to consider is the size. Really know if you want to attend a larger school or a smaller school. There is definitely pros and cons to both, so I would definitely recommend touring the school or like different size schools and seeing what you would prefer. When I was in high school, we toured a ton of different schools, and I would go to smaller schools, medium-sized schools, and larger schools, and quickly realized I did not like the small schools at all, and really enjoyed being in that like larger campus feel. So for me, I just didn't want a repeat of high school, but I also have a ton of friends who really preferred the smaller school feel and wanted to have a campus where they knew a lot of the people and had a smaller community. So that's definitely going to be on what you prefer. So I definitely recommend like going to smaller size schools and larger size schools and seeing what size you would prefer. So the next thing is location. So you want to consider if you want to be close to home, if you want to be far from home, out of state, anything like that, because location is very important. Because not only if it's something that you want to be close by, like from home or far, but even like the travel is so important. This is really important because, for example, I considered going to the University of Alabama, and I'm from Southern California, and when I really thought about how much it would be to fly like from school to home, like for holidays or breaks and things like that, I just thought that would be so expensive and not something I was willing to do. Versus now I go to University of Arizona, and it's like a 7-hour drive. Being able to catch a ride with someone who's heading back there or getting on a flight that's a lot cheaper than it would be from like going from like LA to Alabama versus like LA to Tucson or Phoenix. Like it just like the travel is something you really want to consider. You would have to think about when your family wants to visit, and if it's going to be expensive for them to hop on a flight to see you very far versus being able to drive or something like that. So the next thing is the physical campus, and this is something that I think is incredibly important. You guys should definitely visit the campuses that you guys are considering to really get a feel for the school, and if it's something that you can actually picture yourself being at, and if you actually feel at home and stuff like that, because it is so different from like looking on something on paper and it checking like everything you want, and then you physically go there and you're like, this is not what I wanted. And that definitely happened to me a few times. There were definitely schools that I thought were like absolutely something I would want, and like on paper seemed like a school that I would really be interested in, and when I visited, like right away I was like, this isn't my school. So I think it's just so important to actually physically be on the campus and it be somewhere where you would be happy at. So the next thing I would consider is the Greek life. And if this is something that you are interested in, it definitely would be something that you maybe would want to consider, because not all schools have Greek life. Some schools have a more traditional, larger Greek life. Some schools don't. So when I was weighing out all the schools and my options, I definitely wanted a more traditional college with traditional Greek life and like a full-on Greek row and everything like that, and a lot of schools I was looking into didn't have that, and just wanted a school where Greek life was a huge part of the community. And you might be complete opposite, where you do want to be a part of Greek life but don't want it to be like a big part of the school and just like a minor thing where it's not like really a big deal or anything like that. It's also important to consider that too, because if you do want to be in Greek life, at some schools it may be a lot more expensive than another school, because where schools where there is like housing and meals at, like that's gonna be a lot more expensive than a school where they don't have housing or don't provide meals for you, because like that's a huge chunk of what you're paying for. So you might want to consider that as well. So the next thing is the school spirit. So consider if this is something that's important to you, and if you want to go to school where students are so excited to represent their school and proud of the school that they go to, and have like games and tailgates and just have a community where they're so excited as well. I mean, definitely there's so many schools like that. Like obviously I go to U of A, so the whole like full-on community is like so excited about games and everything like that, and just the school tradition in general. So if that's something important to you, you might want to weigh that out as well. So the next thing is housing, and this may not be something that's a complete deal breaker, but you do want to make sure that it is aligned with your living preferences. So for example, if you want to attend college and don't want to live in a dorm at all, and you are looking into school where it's like mandatory to live in like freshman and sophomore year, you may want to consider that, or even like how easy it is to get like off-campus housing and where those buildings are around the school and how far it would be, and just things like that, because you are going to be living there obviously. So you may want to consider all of those options and make sure that the housing does align with your living preferences. Not necessarily if the rooms are like aesthetic, like that is not important, but just making sure that it does align with a lot of those things. And if you don't want to have like a roommate at all, and say a school doesn't allow you to have your own room, just all those types of things. So now I want to go into more tips for you guys on how to really decide what school would be best for you. So with all of these different factors, really consider what's the most important to you and what would be a deal breaker if your school didn't have that. So really look at all of your options, and if a school doesn't have something that's the most important to you and is a deal breaker, start like taking that out of your options and really start narrowing down your decision. So next is something that I did a ton. So I've always been really into YouTube. So when I was in high school, I would like watch videos of people who attended the schools that I was looking into to kind of get a glimpse of what the college experience was like, and getting to see it from my current college student standpoint. So yeah, hopefully there is someone on YouTube who does attend your school. I know there's another site called Campus Reel that I'm affiliated with. You can search up your school and then they'll pull up videos from people who actually attend the school, so you can like understand like every like subtopic of like class size, housing, like what food is like on campus, like all those little different factors. So there are definitely a ton of resources where you guys can see like full video footage from actual college students and not just hearing what the tour guide has to say. And furthermore, reaching out to just current college students, you might not want to like go on social media and stalk and see who attends school and like DM them. I feel like that would be a little weird. But if you do have friends of friends or family members who attended that school, you may want to get in contact with them, maybe high school alumni that you went to school with, and want to reach out to them if they attend that school, just to get some more of your questions answered. And yeah, getting more information from a current college student who attends that school, because if they love their school, they're going to be more than happy to talk about it and provide you with any information that you may need. The next thing is really talk to your parents and get an idea of what they're thinking and what would be the best fit for you. Your parents know you better than you probably know yourself. You might want to have a conversation with them. They may bring to light something that you have not even considered and really help you weigh out those options as well, because they ultimately know what would be the best fit for you. So definitely just have conversations with them and really try and think about what would be a good college fit for you. And lastly, I've said this before, but it is okay to transfer. If you guys do end up going to school that's not what you thought it was gonna be, it's totally okay to transfer. You guys get to decide what your college experience is gonna be like, and ultimately it's what you make of it. So if you go there and you aren't happy, it is okay to transfer. And there might have been something that you really wanted in high school and you actually get there and you're like, this is not what I thought it was going to be at all. So know that it really isn't an end-all be-all decision. If you are there and you aren't happy, you do have that option to leave. So I just wanted to mention that in here so you guys no, even though it is like a crazy huge decision, it also is not the ultimate decision of your life. And if it's something that you thought it was gonna be like and you don't like it, you can leave. But yeah, I really hope this video helped you guys, because I know for me, I considered everything under the sun about going to college and really tried to envision myself in that full college experience to see what school would really be best for me. And by weighing out all of these different factors, I really have been so lucky to actually find the school that was best for me. So that's why I really do hope that it was helpful. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye guys!